Hi guys, I am up really early this morning because today we are headed to a brocante. I know you guys have been wanting to see one of these and this one will be perfect. In the summer, in most regions of France, you can find these huge brocantes or these huge flea markets. I typically miss the big ones because our trips never align. But this year, because we've been here all summer, I've just been waiting for this. So my friend Freddie is coming to pick me up and we are gonna go take off and see what we can find because I still have a few holes left in the house that I need to fill. Like this. I still have not found my hooks for the entry, and I think that it's driving everybody crazy now because all of our baskets and sometimes jackets and hats will just be laying here and people tripping over them. So I'm hoping that that's one thing that we can find. I also need to find a few things for the bedrooms, a few pieces of art, and some hooks for the studio, which is this other bedroom that you guys will see in part 2 of the tour. And then I've got this funky little table that we're just throwing like all of our stuff on. It's like a catch-all. So I really want this to look nice. I'm trying to find some sort of console and mirror, some little entry piece to give this area character. So we have a few loose ends before I give you the part 2 tour, but hopefully I can find most of them today. Let's go. Freddie came to pick me up and we took off into the French countryside. It was so wonderful to drive through the forests and the canopy of trees. This is scenery that we just don't get in Los Angeles. After about 20 minutes driving through this forest, these windy back roads, looking through farmland, I couldn't help but thinking, where was she taking me? Where was this place? But also, I totally trust Freddie. She's been to this flea market several years, and if she says this is the best way to go, this is the best way to go. And then finally, we came up upon a beautiful, charming little French town, and as we drove through town, we could see that things were picking up. That's my first tip with these flea markets. You gotta get there early, not only for the parking situation, which you'll see in a minute, but all the best stuff is still there in the morning. If you wait and get there too late, you'll end up getting all the stuff that people kind of passed over. And as soon as we rounded the bend, I could start to see the big banners. Les puces, grand brocante. So les puces basically means the fleas or the flea market. So then we were off to find some parking. They started to close off some of the streets as the traffic was really heating up. So we got into line and waited our turn. The cars were already lining up to get into this big field, which is where the flea market was held. I had my €2 ready, which is what it costs to enter. It was interesting to note that the euros actually went to a local charity. So that was nice. As soon as we made it into the parking lot, which was really just a big unmowed field, I could start to see how popular this event was. There were cars being stacked, attendants directing traffic, and we finally found a spot. Now, this was just the parking lot. It was still a long trek to where the tents were, where the flea market was held. Remember this scene because this will factor in later. We paid our euros and in we went. And as soon as we arrived, oh my, there were tents for as far as the eye could see. I didn't know where to begin. The whole thing was so overwhelming. I just figured we'd start at the first tent. Okay, I just found something super cute that I have been looking for, a little mustard pot. So mustard is kind of like the preferred condiment of France, and you see it a lot of the times brought to the table when you serve roast chicken or meat. It's been around so long that you'll find really beautiful vintage mustard pots like this one. I couldn't resist the glass and the wood. I got it for €10, and I just need to find a spoon to go with it. I love these flea markets because you never know what you're going to find. Look at this old soldier's uniform. It might be a costume rather than the original. A little theater, child's toy, so cute. There's so much to see, it can really be overwhelming. Freddie found an amazing silver serving piece set, which looked pretty great. And then I found some serving pieces too. A lot of times these serving pieces are in these little boxes. So when you're at the flea market, open all the boxes because you never know what's waiting for you inside. These will make great salad servers. Another wonderful thing to look for in a French flea market are linens. You can find beautiful old quilts and placemats, vintage style sheets. You can also get amazing napkins and dish towels. I love the dish towels because I think they make for great bread basket liners. Then I found this. I am such a sucker for old French paintings. This is the most beautiful coloration and it comes in the frame, only for €10. Look how beautiful. Another thing that caught my eye were these molds. Look at these. I thought first maybe they were chocolate molds or gelatin molds. I'm not really sure what they were, but these oysters really caught my eye. How cool are those? Okay, then this, I could not resist. It was a miniature chest known as a maquette, which furniture makers would make in miniature before they would actually make the bigger piece. I thought it would make a very adorable jewelry box for one of the bedrooms. I just couldn't resist it, so I had to snatch it up.
Now the thing that I must find are these things for the entry. I am having absolutely no luck finding any hooks or any type of thing that I can put all those market baskets on. I gotta keep looking.
And then moments later, I stumbled into this man's booth. He had all different kinds of nautical lanterns and iron pieces. And then I saw something that I thought could be a possibility.
Okay, basically I'm gonna make this work. I'm gonna take the two blonde ones and put them together for the entry, and then I'm gonna take the two small ones and put them in the studio. This was definitely the stand to come to because he's got all kinds of hanging things.
Speaking of hanging things, look at this old beautiful map of France. Isn't that cool? I just couldn't get over the variety of things that you could find at this flea market. Look at these amazing chaise lounge chairs. They remind me of the kind that would have been on some very chic cruise ship crossing the Atlantic. How beautiful and cool are they? And then of course I saw another hanging thing. Look at that. Wasn't that beautiful? Well, too late. I already found mine.
Okay, then I found something I was really looking for, the piece for the entry. This is going to be perfect. I love it. It's beautiful and I can store lots of things in it. Et je crois que c'est bien parce que c'est clair.
I was explaining to Freddie what I love most about this piece was the fact that it was a lighter wood and would match the other pieces in our house. Sometimes in France it can be easier to find the darker pieces, but finding these lighter pieces can sometimes be a challenge.
We just need to find somebody to help us bring it to the car because this does not look light.
Well, it turns out because of the pandemic, they did not have any porters this year at the flea market. But the best he could do was to put it on a little hand trolley that he said we could borrow to cart it to the car. I kept thinking about how we would have to take this piece of furniture and get our way first out of the tents, then take the long trek home back to where the cars were parked. It probably was about 1 kilometer, and I just kept thinking, could we do it? Was it worth it? The kind seller could see me sort of processing all of this, so he showed us how light it really was. Look, one hand, not a problem. So Freddie took a turn just to verify that we could in fact carry this thing. And we thought, you know what, girl power, let's do it. I'm going to use all of my yoga strength to cart this to the car. I'm a woman on a mission.
You know you're a lover of old things when you are willing to drag an old piece of furniture through the hot, sweaty field of a French brocante. It'll be worth it. I find it's an hour of pain for a lifetime of enjoyment. And I love that it came with the key and a little tassel. How cute is that? Mission accomplished. Done.
There's nothing quite like the thrill of victory after shopping a French brocante. I couldn't wait to get these treasures home and put them in place.
So now it's a few days after we went to the flea market, and I wanted to show you how the entry has come together from all of our flea market finds. Ta-da! Now you can see the after, which I think is a lot more cozy, a lot more integrated, and definitely more functional. Okay, so here is the big hero piece, this little entry table, which Freddie was saying that she thought used to be what they would store jams and jellies in old kitchens in France. So, you know, they didn't really have cabinetry, they used a lot of furniture. And she said this probably would have been something in a kitchen, but I think it is perfect right here in the entry. And then I found this really fabulous mirror. Hello. This really fabulous mirror at a local antique shop, Atelier Brocante. I'll link to it below in case you guys come here and rent the house. It's a really fabulous place to find all kinds of things. I just love the scale of it and the design. It's one of those gold French mirrors that you see a lot of the times over mantles. I like it because it's not that ornate. It's really simple, almost streamlined and modern in its approach, which I think is good for this house. And then this little curious piece I found at another local thrift shop. I got it for about €5, and I just thought it was so pretty and would work here as like a catch-all. So we put like extra keys in here, our masks, anything you could put change in here, anything you need to kind of put in a drop zone.
I'm told that the original purpose for something like this probably would have been as a poubelle de table.
which literally translates to a trash for the table. It's not used so much now in France as much as it was probably used a few decades ago. There's so many courses in France that in between the courses, you would need something to put like little chicken bones or rinds of cheese that you didn't eat. All the little scraps from the table that you probably didn't want to get up and go to the kitchen to scrape the plate to interrupt sort of the flow of the meal. I don't know, my daughter came up with a good point, like, well, they had to go to the kitchen to get the cheese or to get the dessert. Why didn't they just scrape the plates? I don't know why, but maybe one of you guys know why. It seems like a very charming little tradition, so I don't know. I'm very curious about it, but it works very well to hold our keys in the modern era. Then I also got this little carafe. It might actually be a vase, I'm not really sure, but I love the gold striping on it and I love the size of it. And I thought that would be really pretty to hold some flowers. These are these gorgeous hydrangeas that I don't have growing here yet, but hopefully will soon. Freddie gave me these from her garden. Aren't they gorgeous? And I have found that little coasters work really well under a vase on a wood piece so that you don't stain the table. So I've got that there. And then I kept the key in the keyhole of the chest, but then I decided to move the tassel because I thought it would look a little bit better on the armoire. Since we didn't have a tassel on there, we had this ugly sort of blue plasticky thing keeping the key in place, and I just thought it looked right at home on the armoire. So that's where that went. I love a good tassel. It looks so pretty. Then, here we go, the piece de resistance, my little hooks, which I am so happy because it leaves this bench free and clear. And we put them together and hung them as one. And actually, I think I could probably have room for maybe one or two more. So we will see about that. But each one has its own little spot. My daughter even got her little basket here, which is cute, for her little change purse. And it's just so functional. You come in from outside, coming from the market, you put your basket there and away you go. It's so great. And then my older daughter found this pillow, which I thought was really cute, just to sort of soften this bench. Anytime my girls come up with ideas for decor, I always like to integrate it because I think it's fun to see them getting involved in it and I want them to know that their opinion matters. So that was a good little find. And then we put a rug in here. So one of the things we're learning with the concrete is you need to add some softening touches, which is why I really love to integrate the old with the new because it seems to just kind of soften the whole vibe. And then we have a light fixture that we put in, and and then this, I actually found this online. I think a website called Le Bon Coin is where I found it, or maybe Silenci. It's an old antique umbrella stand. It's made out of copper and has these like little porcelain decorative touches. I love it because it really rains pretty hard here. And when you come in and you've got a wet soaking umbrella, you just pop it right in there. The only other thing that I think I would like to do to this entry before we leave is to create a fabric panel above the door, sort of going here to there. I think that'll soften the space and cover what is now the thermostat and all the alarm stuff. I don't know, there's something that just sort of feels still a little unfinished to me. Maybe it's just a one panel, like a, I don't know, classic stripe that might just go across the door and then swoop with a tie back and kind of soften that area. I think that might be kind of pretty. So let me know in the comments, what do you think? Leave it as is or add the fabric panel? And then as far as the little painting goes, I really wanted to put that right here. I know it looks kind of funny just being its own little thing, but I don't know, I like small little paintings on big walls sometimes because it just focuses you in and makes you just sort of notice it. And there's something really cute about the coloration of this painting and how it really matches all of the china because it has that same sort of gold and green coloration. A lot of you guys have asked me what the pattern is called. I do not know. I've been trying to find it myself because I would love to find some matching coffee cups. We don't have the coffee cups, but I don't know. I do think it's quite pretty. If I ever find out what it is, I'll post it here and let you guys know. And then my little mustard pot is sitting here. We're still waiting for its spoon. I was never able to find the spoon, but I think that that should be easy enough to find. But I haven't used it yet because I don't have anything small enough to go in there. But I just thought it was a nice little piece on our buffet. This is another painting that I found, which I think is so pretty. Again, it came in the frame. But I love that it's really best appreciated from afar because it almost is kind of impressionistic. You can see the boats and the coloration. I just love it. I think it's so charming. And then if you guys haven't seen, I did finally hang the oyster plates. I thought they just looked better 3 because sometimes with something like that, less is more. So we went with the less is more approach. And if you missed the house tour and you wanted to get caught up, you can click this annotation there. And if you want to see all of my videos that I've done in France, you can click that annotation down there. All right, you guys, I'll see you back here next week when we will tackle the French creperie. Oh my God, c'est difficile! Oh là là! This is St Christophe.
Oui, c'est pas mal pour une première.
It's quite a visit. Until then, bye.